right, guys. We are back again with yet another beer mail. Why is that? Because old habits die hard. That's right. Why do old habits die hard? Because out of the blue, me and my buddy Johnny G at Crafty Beer Reviews, we got to talking, and he said, "Hey, my brother, can you send me a little Aslan beer?" I said, "Hell yes." He said, "You want some Wolf-Hearted and some shit like that?" I said, "Hell yes." I said, "Haven't you been saving up and hoarding beers for me? Because I've been doing it for you." He said, "Hell yes." We got a lot of hell yeses here. Why is that? Because we're talking about liquid happiness and old habits dying really hard. So you wait till you see what's in this box that we're going to open up, unpack, and display to you back in a flash. Okay, gang, I'm back. Johnny packed this beer mail hella good, of course, and he sent me a big-ass baker's dozen of beers. Hell yes. Now, we have been building this beer mail up for about a year, so shit happens like that. Thanks a million, Johnny, for sending me this before I even say what any of the brews are, because I've seen them and freaking rocks. Anywho, what do we got up for the first beer? We got one from Dark Horse Brewing out of Marshall, Michigan, and what is it? It's the 2016 vintage of their bourbon barrel aged Scotty Karate. I've had regular Scotty Karate, which I think Johnny sent me also. This beer clocks in at 9.75% ABV, between 17 and 35 IBUs. Now, next up, we've got a beer from a brewery I haven't heard of before, but doesn't matter. Because there's so many of them now, there's over 4,000 in the U.S. Anywho, it's a beer from Dayton Beer Company out of Dayton, Ohio, of course, and it's their Upright Kolsch. It clocks in at 5% ABV and 19 IBUs. I believe Johnny knows the owners of this brewery, and this is a Kolsch that he said is really good. So if it's a Kolsch and it's really good, that means it was brewed very well, because Kolsch is a style where you cannot hide imperfections. There's no like big sugars or big flavors to hide a little bit of mistake in the brewing process. So that'll be fun to review. Next up, we've got one from Three Floyds Brewing Company out of Munster, Illinois. And what beer is that from them? It's their Backmasking, and now this is an oatmeal imperial stout. It clocks in at 8% ABV and 32 IBUs. If you don't know, backmasking is a technique that they used back in the days of vinyl. They would put like, I guess, tracks that would play like backwards if you play the record backwards, and it would like give you evil messages and stuff like, oh, you know, eat a dog or some crazy shit like that. I don't know. Anywho, next we have a beer from Elevation Brewing Company out of Columbus, Ohio. I've never heard of this brewery either. Doesn't matter. But I will hear this beer pretty soon, because it's their Bar Bourbon Barrel Aged English Barley Wine. That fucking rocks. Plus, it's 12% ABV, which will probably rock me, and between 35 and 70 IBUs. And they say it's award-winning. Hey, you know what? We will see. But at 12% ABV and, you know, bourbon barrel aging, that'll probably sway my decision-making process some. Anywho, next up we have a beer from Founders Brewing. Now, we have Founders here in Maryland, but back in 2015 we didn't. So Johnny has sent me this beer from a company, you know, that's up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And what beer is it? It's the 2015 version of Blushing Monk. You will recall that this beer was originally brewed in 2011. It's an urban spice beer, you know, that kind of thing. It's like a amped up version of, I think, of Rubius, and it clocks in at 9.2% ABV and I think 5 IBUs. That's kind of like how these beers roll. Anywho, next we have a beer from one of my favorite breweries. That's right, it's Clown Shoes out of Ipswich, Massachusetts, US of A, and it's the Flight of the Angry Beast. Now, excuse me, this is a blend of their Billionaire Barley Wine and their, I think, Blakecorn Unidragon. So this one clocks in at 10.75% ABV, and who knows what IBU it is. It's a blended beer, probably like 50 or 60. Blakecorn Unidragon's a pretty roasty imperial stout, and it's got a lot of earthy tones, so it's probably higher in that IBU range. So now, you've seen these beers come up. We got to clear the decks a little bit because we got a bunch of them coming out. We got a whole series now from Jackie O's. Jackie O's is one of Johnny's favorite breweries. I really dig them. They make awesome barrel-aged beers and stouts and malty stuff. Malty beers. I love hoppy beers. Malty beers are where it really is at for me. I love malty stuff. So, let's get into this. Where is it here? Oh, you're hiding from me. First up, we have a beer that Johnny had sent me before that I tried Cellar that was really awesome. It's their Jackie O's out of Athens, Ohio. That's right, their Dark Apparition. Clocks in at 10.5% ABV and between 50 and 100 IBUs for the style. And this, I believe, is what vintage? 2015 vintage. That's already got some time on it. And just so we got a nice matching set here, he sent me the bourbon barrel aged version, which clocks in at 11.5% ABV and 50 and 100 IBUs for the style. And this is the 2016 vintage of that, but it really, is it like 2015? Because it spent over, I think, over 12 months in bourbon barrels. Now, their barrel aged stuff, man, this one was 12 months. They got stuff they've aged 17, 13, all kinds of crazy long times. Oh, you're saying, what beers are those, DJs? Well, first, we've got one up. Now, this is an Imperial Brown Ale called Noble Sorrel. This clocks in at 11% ABV and between 20 and 60 IBUs for the style. And this one, they aged for 17 months in bourbon barrels. That's freaking redonkulous. After that, we've got all kinds of little slots here. We have Lanthrone. Now, Lanthrone is an 11% ABV Imperial Amber Ale, so that clocks in also probably in that 20 to 60 IBU range. That's an estimate. And this has been aged for 13 months in bourbon barrels. Wow. So, last but not least, we've had one that I've wanted to try for a while because I love me some Mexican Imperial Stouts, or, you know, like chili stouts, excuse me, with a bunch of cinnamon and all that stuff. So, what is it? This is their Oro Negro, I believe, but this is probably based on their dark apparition, and they got habaneros and vanilla. They put oak staves in there, all kinds of spices to make it our Mexican Imperial Stout friend. That should be really fun. And this is the 2015 vintage, so this has already got some cellaring on it. That is awesome. Now, we got 2 more beers to sort of round out our Baker's Dozen, and we've got a beer that ties into these Jackie O's beer. That's right, it's a collab beer from our friends at Hoof-Hearted Brewing out of, excuse me, Marengo, Ohio. I think that's how you pronounce it. US of A, yay, yay. And what is it? It's their 9.5% ABV and between 50 and 100 IBU. Call-free. This is a Russian Imperial Stout that they brewed with Jackie O's. You know what? I guess that, you know, they're both from Ohio, so they got their collab action on, but that is like awesome 80s looking themed labels. And last but not least, a beer you guys are probably interested in seeing me reviewing pretty damn soon. I'll probably throw it down my drink hole today. That's right. From Hoof-Hearted also, we've got their Conky Dong. Now, this is an Imperial or DIPA. Clocks in at 8% ABV and, excuse me, to be exact, 69.8 IBUs. Well, you can see here, Johnny has hooked a brother the hell up. We got a gigantic rack of beers for the horde and for pouring down my neck. I'm sure my stunt drinker Johnny is going to be up knocking on my door pretty soon, looking to have a little drinky drink action, and I'm fine with that because there is a whole lot of stupid juice to pour down my neck. So before I get anywhere further, thanks a million, Johnny, 10 million, whatever, for sending this. Like I said, old habits die hard. We've been trading for a long time. You know what? I see no use in breaking this habit because this looks pretty fucking awesome to me. If it's a bad habit, you decide. I'm going to drink. So, to the next DJs BrewTube, thanks a million to each and every one of you for watching. Please remember to think locally, drink locally, and support the craft beer movement. Also, please remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Also, check out Johnny G's channel, Crafty Beer Reviews, and smash that like button on my channel and his. So, until the next DJs BrewTube, I got nothing but a bunch of huge beer mail, opening, unboxing, whatever the fuck you want to call it, love. And you know what's coming. That's right, a big ass